What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Inside Zone. Hope you all had a great weekend. Hey, look, it's always a good weekend when there's sports on TV and we're able to watch it even when it's not NBA or NFL, right? This is the dog days of summers for real. But WNBA and Major League Baseball, surprisingly, are kind of holding our attention for at least a few weeks until camp kicks off for college and NFL football. But and then you had the Jake Paul fight, which was a clown show, but that's another video for another day. But hey, I want to talk about a quick article that I read on Awful Announcing, referencing Christine Brennan, where she threw out the hypothetical that Caitlin Clark could start her own league, right? Leave the WNBA and start our own league and get away from the WNBA because she's being treated so bad and she's the money getter. And to be fair, I'm not 100% familiar with Awful Announcing, nor am I completely familiar with Christine Brennan as well. However, the topic is pretty interesting. There's a lot of chatter these days in women's sports in general, and the conversation and that's a whole conversation for another day. But today we're talking specifically about the WNBA and the influx of popularity over the last few years. Look, there's no doubt the phenomenon of Caitlin Clark rising from obscurity out of Iowa, leading her team to the top level of competition in college basketball as one of the best women in college basketball and one of the best women in pros today, and doing what she does. Caitlin Clark, to her credit, has amassed a large following of casual fans, and even in some cases, not even fans, just people that are Caitlin Clark minions. That's the Jordan folks, right? I've never watched a basketball game, but I love Jordan and I wear Jordans. Those folks, right? Bandwagon people, as we call them here in the sports world. But look, Caitlin Clark is selling out arenas. She's, the Atlanta Dream had to move to the State Farm Arena, the Atlanta Hawks Arena, when Caitlin Clark first came here because so many tickets were being sold. She moves the needle. Is she doing this all by herself because of her popularity? Is she the Michael Jordan of women's basketball? Is she the Larry Bird of women's basketball? Or is she truly one of one, something that's never been seen before? Look, let's go back and look at where Caitlin Clark came from, right? Caitlin Clark, the team she played on prior to college really pushed her to become the type of player that she is, right? Caitlin Clark grew up in Iowa, and it's kind of in the middle of nowhere in terms of competitive basketball, but she pushed her team. When she got to Iowa, she was pretty much the main person on the team that had to will them to get to the championship level. They were somewhat mediocre without Caitlin Clark, and she willed her team to get to the championship level of basketball. Although she wasn't able to get over the hump and win a title, she was obviously destined for greatness. But as in every story, the hero needs a villain for relevance to stick, right? In this case, we insert Angel Reese, who at the time was playing at LSU and was on another path of playing the spoiler versus Caitlin Clark and the Hawkeyes. And winning a championship while at LSU, Angel Reese is another dominant player in women's basketball. A new age player that embraces social media, the TikTok generation. Plus, she also talks very confident in her abilities. And similar to Caitlin Clark, she talks trash. And when you put the two megastars on the court, you're going to get a lot of reaction, both good and bad, from fans and the media alike. So what happens now? What happens? The original question was, could Caitlin Clark start her own basketball league and leave the WNBA? Let me be clear. This might be the dumbest idea I've ever heard in my life. When Larry Bird was pushed to the ground early in his career in Boston, did he pack up shop and say, I'm going to start my own league? When Michael Jordan was punched in the face by the Pistons, did he pack up shop and say, I'm going to start my own league? No. Caitlin Clark is soon to be one of the GOATs of basketball if she stays on this path. When any talented player plays in a league where other talented players are, there is a rite of passage. There's a sense of needing to earn respect, and that's where Caitlin Clark is at in her tenure as a professional. Know that all folks that are complaining about the league being too rough on Caitlin Clark are the same folks that show up to their kids' Little League baseball game after 2 practices and pulls them from the team because they were yelled at by the coach for walking and picking boogers, right? These are the same folks that baby their kids and want everybody to give them praise when they haven't done anything good yet, right? Caitlin Clark has played at the highest level of women's sports in multiple leagues. She knows that people are coming for her neck because when you get the status of being a potential GOAT, everybody wants to make their name off of you. So one thing that I'm glad that's happening now is that the folks that wanted to make this a black-white thing, an Angel Reese thing, or whoever thing, this is a respect thing. This is a WNBA competition thing. And guess what? Watching Caitlin Clark's games, she's a gamer. She talks as much trash and puts as many people down as she can. When I see Caitlin Clark come back at somebody with a 3 and look at them and do the too small or do the whatever gesture she makes, I love it. It makes me want to watch more. It makes me want to root for Caitlin Clark. It makes me want to root for Angel Reese. It makes me want to root for all the ladies, Asia Wilson, all these ladies. I love that the game is growing. I love that the competition is growing. And I think it only makes the game better. I think casual fans need to really dial in and love the game as well. Let me know what you guys think. Like, subscribe, share.